A cordial greeting. Today is Monday, August 26, 2024. This is meteorologist Ruben Garcia. In today's video, I would like to talk about a tropical wave currently near the Cape Verde Islands, which Global Models project could become a tropical cyclone by the beginning or middle of next week, as it approaches the eastern Caribbean region. This marks a significant change from what we've seen over the past few weeks in the tropical Atlantic, where, after the passage of Tropical Storm and Hurricane Ernesto, we haven't had any active cyclones, which is highly unusual for the end of August. Even more so, considering that these weeks were projected to be quite active due to the forecasted favorable conditions for cyclone formation. To the surprise of many, we haven't seen the development of new cyclones for several weeks. However, this seems to be changing. As I mentioned over the last few days, we will be monitoring the intertropical convergence zone as it interacts with a tropical wave, which could find marginally favorable conditions over the weekend and the beginning of next week. Before continuing to talk about this tropical wave and its development probabilities, I want to let you know that in the coming days, I'll be recording a video to share with you the factors that have been preventing cyclonic activity in recent weeks, so stay tuned to my YouTube channel. Now, if we zoom in on this area in the tropical Atlantic region, you can see that the intertropical convergence zone has become quite active in recent days. Additionally, we have a tropical wave moving just south of the Cape Verde Islands, and as it travels west, it will interact with a low-pressure system that is anticipated to develop, associated with the intertropical convergence zone. While conditions in the tropical Atlantic are not favorable for cyclonic development due to the dry air that continues descending from the subtropical Atlantic region, as this system moves further west, it will be crossing over areas with ocean surface temperatures that are extremely warm for this time of year. Notably, to the west of 50 degrees west longitude, temperatures increase significantly, which could help this tropical wave encounter favorable conditions for development or strengthening as it moves through this area. Therefore, it is important for residents of Puerto Rico, the Dominican Republic, and the Virgin Islands to pay attention to this tropical wave, even though it is not an imminent threat at the moment. Additionally, another factor we've been monitoring over the past few days is the concentration of Saharan dust, which, as you can see in this animation, will continue to decrease over the coming days. This could also create favorable conditions for development. Furthermore, remember that due to the absence of the El Niño phenomenon, wind shear remains below normal just east of the Caribbean and in the Caribbean region. Particularly from the weekend onward, as this tropical wave moves through this area, it could encounter atmospheric conditions that at least allow for gradual development of the tropical wave. However, it's important to mention that at the time of recording this video, the National Hurricane Center has not marked the area with a probability of development. Still, based on the trends we've seen in all the models, it is very likely that this area will soon be marked with a low probability of development, possibly during the day tomorrow, Tuesday, or Wednesday. Let's take a look at some long-term projections. We'll start with the GFS model. This run just came out this afternoon, and you can see that after several days of showing no cyclonic development, it finally shows that the tropical wave could become a tropical cyclone, with a tropical storm approaching the Lesser Antilles between Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. We're talking about a long-term forecast that could see significant changes, but definitely, this change in the GFS model projections increases the chances of a tropical cyclone developing. On the other hand, the European model is also projecting the development of a tropical depression or tropical storm by the beginning of next week east of the Caribbean Sea. It also shows that the high-pressure system could be quite strong, which would favor this disturbance moving quite far west and potentially being a long-term threat to the eastern Caribbean. Similarly, the German model also develops a tropical depression by the beginning of next week. We are definitely seeing better consensus among the global models that we could possibly see the development of a strong low-pressure system and perhaps a tropical depression in this area. The probabilities of development also increase when we analyze the ensemble members of the GFS model in the midday run today. Some of them develop a tropical storm and hurricane east of the Caribbean Sea. However, there is significant uncertainty about its future trajectory, which depends on where the center of circulation develops. The further south it develops, the more likely it is to reach the Caribbean Sea, while if it develops further north, it could pass very close or just northeast of the Caribbean. As is typical with long-term forecasts and systems that are not yet developed, there is significant uncertainty about its future trajectory. And clearly, we first need to see if a tropical cyclone develops. Additionally, almost all the members of the European model develop at least a tropical depression by the beginning of next week. But again, there is significant uncertainty about its trajectory. Some possible scenarios include a trajectory quite to the northwest, staying away from the Caribbean Sea, especially if it consolidates faster than anticipated and more to the north, while another scenario is a system that takes longer to organize and could move further west. In terms of probability, the ensemble members of the European model show up to a 65% probability of developing a tropical depression east of the Caribbean Sea. So, for these reasons, it is very likely that the National Hurricane Center will soon mark this area with at least a low probability of development. And here at Hurricane Info, we will continue to monitor the changes in the projections of the global models. Well, that's all for today. I will continue recording several videos throughout the week to keep you informed, so it's important to check if you are subscribed to my channel. Go to the bottom of the video, click the red button that says subscribe, and then click the bell so you get notifications when I record new videos. Well, with that, I say goodbye. Until the next video, see you later.